Welcome back, everybody. I'm Austin Reed. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed On Air. Just a few days ago, I had the honor of emceeing a huge event with the Zachary Horton Foundation, which aims to break the stigma of addiction. And my good friend and the executive director of the Zachary Horton Foundation, that's Jim Horton. He is with us again. Hello, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
And I want to let everybody know that I had the honor as well of becoming a board member.
That's right.
With the Zachary Horton Foundation. That started just, a couple months ago.
That's right.
And let's talk first about the event.
Okay.
We saw a little bit of rain.
Yes, we did. And that was, and this was our first major event, that we've had. It was a big fundraiser, and it was a golf tournament.
There it is.
Yeah.
And I captured this video.
Yeah, that captures just about what it was like. Yeah, it was, it wasn't bad, and golfers are used to playing in all kinds of conditions, so that wasn't bad. What we're not used to doing is eating a banquet in all kinds of conditions. So, we had our program following the golf event, and it was all outside there, and
yep.
that was a challenge. But I got to say, the people that came and the people that stayed, it was just tremendous.
I want to talk about we had some amazing silent auction items.
Oh yeah. There was a ton of people gave to this, and and Austin, I think one of the challenges that I've had in the foundation, in my past life, I was in sales, in education, speaking to people, talking to people about breaking the stigma of addiction, explaining what the mission of our foundation is, helping people out, running counseling sessions. These are all things that are part of my past that I'm intricately involved in, and that I'm happy to do. Wow, the fundraising part of it is just such a challenge for me. I really dislike asking people for anything. And there are some people that are just really, really good at that part. So we had a lot of silent auction items that were there. We had people that just gave from the heart, people where that this issue of addiction has touched their lives. And we know now that 1 out of every 10 people in America, substance use disorder has touched their life somehow. They're affected by that. And then when you break that down, if they're affected by it individually, then the families are affected by it, right? So what we talk about is how do we change this discussion? How do we break the stigma of addiction so people can get the help that they need? And addiction is always going to be with us. We're not going to end it. Like we haven't ended diabetes, like we haven't ended cancer. We haven't ended it, but what we can do is we can break the stigma by where people can get help for it earlier, where it won't have the impact on us and on our families and our loved ones that it has now. Because what seems to happen now is that someone is challenged with addiction, they get in deep with the disease, and it's only after that point that the family starts to seek help, that people start to try to understand what to do. How do I deal with it? Well, it's at that point, oftentimes it's already too late, right? It's already, in cancer terms, it's stage 3 or stage 4. Let's learn how to talk about this in a preventative measure where we talk about it, and it's not, we don't criminalize it, because then that just drives it underground. If someone thinks that they're having a challenge with addiction or with alcoholism, and they think that they're going to be demonized for it, or they're going to be called names about it, or they already feel bad enough if they're dealing with something that they can't control. Let's change that conversation. Let's guide people into how to talk about it, how families can talk about it, how they can seek help, the same way that you would seek help medically for any problem that you have. In that line and in that role, that's some of the people that were there for our tournament on Monday. Just gave and gave and gave, and that's so tremendous, because that allows us to do much of that work that we're starting to do and that we're working on. We're collaborating with some school districts now, and being able to get in and talk with parents and work with parents that way. I run the podcast, Zach's Life, a couple times a month. we do a lot of things with local resources. In fact, there's 2 local resources in town that have volunteered. Now, get this. So for an outpatient program, it costs probably about $1,500 a month. They have volunteered outpatient spots in their program for anyone that we see that doesn't have insurance, that doesn't have finances, or their insurance is limited. They'll do an assessment for them, free of charge, and come in, and if they meet the criteria for their program, that they want to support the Zachary Horton Foundation of what we're doing by offering that. I mean, there's a lot of county programs, but you have to be in a certain socioeconomic range sometimes to qualify for that. And then if you have great insurance, there's programs for that. But what we're seeing is we're seeing some of the local resources that are wanting to collaborate with us and wanting to partner with us. That is just that's amazing. It's just fantastic, the direction things are going.
Can we announce how much was raised?
Well, we're still crunching all those numbers, but this was our first tournament, Austin. Frankly, I was going to be excited if we broke even, with the tournament. And then as sponsors, started giving, we passed, the $10,000 mark and the $15,000 mark. I believe we're going to be somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000. Dude, that's heart touching.
Yeah.
And so for us, what that does is that our budget for this year, I believe, is $57,000. That's where, for
operations,
for operations, for the sober living events that we do, getting people out, running just the nuts and bolts of running everything. Some sponsorships that we cover. That covers us for almost the whole year. This one event, which now allows us, and here's the challenge when you're involved just in a fundraising mode. You lose track of what the mission is, or I don't have time to come down here and talk to your audience and explain more about what the stigma of addiction can do and how breaking it can help, right? Because I'm worried about, planning the next event. So it really frees us up, and that's really the necessity, for having donors, for having people that want to walk alongside us in this mission. So people that have been touched by substance use in their family, I'd love to hear your stories. Love to talk to you perhaps about being on our podcast. Yeah. And if you have an opportunity to give even $5 a month or $10 a month, that's the kind of sustaining kind of partnership that'll allow us then to be out, do the kinds of work that we want to do in schools, get out in the community on the weekends, and just kind of continue to promote the giving.
And when I heard you say that number, my head went immediately to Zach, your son, who unfortunately did pass away from an overdose. And so, did you feel his presence there Monday?
It's so emotional, Austin.
Yeah.
And as I was speaking to the audience, and it's tough for me almost any time to talk about Zach, and have those emotions not be a part of it. I hope more than anything else that somehow his spirit is aware of what we're doing, and that there's some comfort that comes to him or people who knew him or people that struggled some with him and that still struggle, and that they can feel that comfort as well.
Yeah. I gotta give you a hug. 'Cause
oh, brother, thank you so much.
I know it's
thank you.
It's not easy. I don't even I always think, I've got twins,
Right.
They'll be 6 in May, and I can't even imagine my life without them, So.
And it's still something. It's still something every day on my way over here to your studio today. I passed by something in the street that just, I'm just struck by it. And there's times that I do my best to keep it, to keep it together.
It's also okay to cry, though.
Oh,
it's okay
sure.
Yeah.
But both of my parents have passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mourn them to this extent every day. But a child, it's just different. But that does bring us. It does bring some intensity and some meaning to the cause, right? Yeah. And I think that's where, and it would be so easy. And there's still times that I close myself off, but it would be easy. And I know parents that have lost children and they choose to not talk about it. They choose not to be involved. They choose to do whatever you can to end the pain, to live your life, and go on. But you can't go on. And for me, this does bring some joy. This does bring some satisfaction to know in some small way that we can contribute to another family not living through this pain.
Exactly.
Right. And then that's the big dream, to be able to break the stigma of addiction, where people can get the help that they need and live the kind of productive lives. Anyone who has experienced that level of addiction, and the family is as broken as the individual is. And the truth is, your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, whoever is challenged by that, they are still that same person that you love. They're still that same person that you've always known. It's just that they've got this hideous disease that's stopping everybody from seeing it. So let's break the stigma. Let's deal with it, and let's bring back the beauty of all of these of all these souls that are just challenging and struggling.
I believe that Zach is looking, down on us from above and helping with this. I don't know. That's just my thought. But it was back to the event. It was a great event. And by the way, the Zachary Horton Foundation has only been around for how many years?
Yeah. This was our first full year of the foundation.
And you raised that much money.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that people do care.
Yes.
And we live in a valley that is very supportive.
Yes.
So let's keep breaking the stigma of addiction.
Yes.
We've got about a minute left.
And I'm just going to say, if there's anything that we can do in our foundation, if you have a group of people that you'd like us to come and speak to about this, if you need help and you just need to talk it through, when you're in the middle of the challenges and all the drama and the confusion at that time, sometimes you can't think clearly. Let us help you talk through it. We are not counselors. We are not professionals in that way, but we know people who are. And there's a resource page on our website. Contact us through that, and email me directly, and we'll get in touch, and we'll make it happen.
And there's Zach right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful smile.
Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Austin.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you.
Great work. You need some rest.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work. So, I mean, I wish I could have helped more. I hardly did anything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And on the website, you can also volunteer. So we're going to be at any event, most events that we can find time for this whole summer that are happening in the Valley. We have a booth. We'd love to have you just come out and sit with us. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, talk to us, say hello. And, gosh, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people that were at the event, including Total Life Change. Our friend Todd Harris, who's come on the show before. Absolutely.
Sierra Meadows.
Ascend
Behavioral Health. Of course, First Steps Recovery. Sean was out there.
That's right.
Then Sherry and Jerome from Aspire Counseling.
And then My Time Recovery had a booth
and of
there
course,
as well.
Scotty with My Time. So it was fun.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and that's what's wonderful is collaborating with local resources.
Right.
And these are just people that care. Yeah. This is a community that, while there's some competition, I know there is in rehab facilities or whatever, but they really do want to work together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only way.
It's great.
We're going to keep breaking that stigma.
That's right.
See you next time.
Austin, thanks so much.
Go to bed.
Yes,
Get some rest. Have a cigar. I don't know. Whatever you do. I'm Austin Reed. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back with another guest coming up.